and I'm going to end the video right here. What a roller coaster of a season it has been. Came in downwind, it actually winded me. What is up, guys, and welcome to another man versus deer video. In today's video, I'm going to be trying out deer heart for the first time. I've never had it before. Had a successful hunt the other day. I'm going to link that video here where we were able to harvest a nice little doe. And the heart is pretty much all intact. It's got one little knife slice through it from when we were field dressing it. I'm going to flip the camera around. We are going to take some mushrooms and onions and kind of cook them in a pan with some butter. We're then going to clean the heart, cube it up, add it to that mixture, and then we're going to make a gravy out of beef broth, cream and mushroom soup, some salt and pepper, and some stuff like that. And then we're going to eat the whole thing over mashed potatoes. So I think it's going to turn out pretty delicious. I'm going to get started dicing this onion, dicing the mushrooms, and cleaning the heart. Alright, so I got my onions diced and I got my mushrooms diced, and I basically just got a handful of each. I'm going to start a pan on a medium-high heat, and I've got a big dollop of butter in there, and I'm going to start letting that go, and then when it melts, I'm going to throw my onions in there, and then my mushrooms a little bit later, and eventually we will add the deer heart in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean this, and I watched a few videos on this, and the heart, I'm basically going to separate it into three pieces. This will be one piece, this will be one piece, and the meat that connects them in the middle will be one piece. But before we do that, all this fat that's on the outside right here, that's all got to go. I'm going to cut it off at an angle. And all these, basically the entrance to the heart chambers and stuff like that, that's all got to go. So I'm just going to cut at an angle and get rid of any of that fat that's on the outside. I'm going to cut into here, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And this is what we are left with afterwards, and you can kind of see this will be one piece, this will be one piece, and this will be one piece. There's a little line right here that you can kind of follow. I'm just going to do that. And that's piece number one right there. You can kind of see it opened up. This piece, same thing, should just be able to follow right here. And there's piece number two, and there's piece number three. Now all these little things right in here, I'm just going to pinch and cut out because we don't want them in there. And you've got a good, clean looking piece of meat right there. This is our meat all separated and with all the fat trimmed off of it. I'm going to give it a quick wash and then we'll cube it up. Alright, our meat has now been washed off, patted dry with a paper towel, And as you can see, some really clean looking pieces of, it almost looks like flank steak or neck meat. And I'm basically just going to take a fork and tenderize it up a little bit before I cube it. I've got my onions and my mushrooms dicing in the pan over here. All right, I got another cube of butter in here. My onions and my mushrooms were getting a little bit too dark. I think they might have been burnt by the time my meat got done cooking. So I took them out, and I'm gonna add the deer heart into here. And I tenderized this with a fork, cubed it up, put it straight into the pan, and I turned the heat down. I'm gonna turn it back up to about a medium high. And we're just gonna cook this. And you don't wanna overcook venison, so I'm not gonna cook it very long. I'll probably cook this for 5 minutes or so, maybe 10. And then I'm gonna start adding in the gravy mixture. It's been on for about 5 minutes now. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions and my mushrooms back in and get that cooking with everything else. And I don't see any pink or any blood in the meat anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my beef stock. And there's no exact science to this, but I'm gonna try to use a can of cream of mushroom and enough of this beef stock to make like a gravy-like consistency. And I'm just gonna kind of take and whisk this together until it starts kind of resembling brown gravy. And I'm gonna let the meat simmer in this for about 10 to 15 minutes once it reaches the consistency I like. This happened by accident, but it was a happy accident. I got the cream of mushroom with roasted garlic in it, which anytime you're doing anything that resembles steak, garlic is usually very, very good. But you can see I've kind of got some semblance of a brown gravy here. And I'm just gonna simmer this meat in it for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so my little concoction is done. I've whipped up some potatoes in the meantime while I was waiting. And I'm just gonna take a couple of scoops of this. And again, it was deer heart, about a half of a good sized onion, cream of mushroom soup with garlic, beef stock, and butter is what I cooked it all in. And we're just gonna pile that in southern fashion on top of some good old mashed taters. And we're gonna go give this a try. All right, so this is my first time cooking and my first time trying deer heart. I'm gonna take and start out with just a piece of the meat. That may be a mushroom. There we go, that's a piece of meat. And let's see what this thing tastes like. It's a little bit more tender than I thought, but honestly, it just tastes like any other part of the deer steak. Now I'm gonna get a little bite with a little bit of everything in it. This whole concoction almost has like a stroganoff taste to it. Really good, actually. Dang. So I'm actually quite surprised by this. I didn't know what to expect. It literally tastes like any other cut of meat from the deer. It's no different. It's a muscle just like anything else. So next time you're fortunate enough to harvest a deer, make sure you take this with you if you can. And there's a ton of different ways to prepare it. This is like a meat and gravy over potatoes, pretty standard. You can do tacos with it. I see people pan sear it medium rare. But definitely take it home. Definitely try it. And if you've got a favorite recipe using it, definitely let me know in the comments. But this is it for this video, guys. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.